3 consecutive Premier League victories for Manchester United for the first time since April this year, Stevie Nicol. That is a way to end the year. This time a 4-1 win over Bournemouth. Paul Pogba once again picking up a couple of goals. So this clearly has been the new Solskjaer era that we're seeing coming on now, albeit temporary. But what stood out for you in today's performance?
To be honest, it was kind of same again for the third time in the trot. The opposition were a good opposition to have during this time, and they took full advantage. No question. Pogba, man of the match, looked as though he's got the weight of the world off his shoulders and has just shown us what he's capable of. So, great result. Again, 4 goals. I mean, every single thing you can think of that was missing before Jose left has now appeared. And to do it consistently 3 games in a trot has to be encouraging.
Lukaku's back and he's scoring again too, almost instantly after coming off the bench.
Well, listen, the game was done by then.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about Bournemouth.
But it's important to get a player like Lukaku scoring again.
Well, it is, but you have to keep your feet on the ground if you're a Man U fan. You know, at the end of the day, again, you're playing Bournemouth. Lost 5 at Tottenham, 4 at Liverpool. They've lost 4 again today. So, you know, they're not world beaters, but it's important that you win games. It's important for Man United that you do it in style. And they've done both of those things.
Well, on the topic of Man United fans keeping their feet on the ground, I asked you this a couple of games ago, not to get too excited, and I ask again, the defence, Stevie. How much of a worrying topic is that, especially Eric Bailly as well? No question it is.
But fortunately, going forward, they look exciting. You know, Rashford's, again, another player with a new lease of life. No question he has ability. We just haven't been able to see it under Mourinho. Yeah. We're seeing it now. So, yeah, defence is a problem. They lost another goal. Could have and should have lost another one at 1-0 up when De Gea saves it with his shoulder. But it's another important victory, and they march on.
And they march on indeed. I never thought I'd hear Stevie Nicol say those words, but he does with a bit of bile that he wants to take it back, but he's not. The result stands, and again, Manchester United finishing off the year in style. So Manchester City managed to scrape themselves out of their little recent rut, surprisingly. Stevie Nicol here with me with a win over Southampton. Important win indeed, but we'll get to that a bit later. Stevie, what did you think of the game?
To be honest, for Manchester City, how the game went didn't matter. It was all about the result.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to really know, then they dominated. They weren't as good going forward as we know they can be. That's how it's been for them recently. But they got 3 goals. And I think more importantly, you've got David Silva back, who I think is huge for them, scores the first goal. And you've got Aguero on the score sheet as well. So it looks like the little blip is over with this victory, I would suggest. David Silva's fit, Aguero fit and ready again, so
full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead for City once again.
All right, well, let's just see how significant this victory was. And I'm talking in terms of the title race, because boy, has that heated up, especially with Stevie's beloved Liverpool and their dominant performances of late. There you see Manchester City on 47 points. Liverpool topping the table still with 54 points. So they have closed the gap somewhat, Stevie, but is it enough?
It was an important win. The fact that it's 7 points, had they lost this game as well, you're talking 10 points. So you're talking Liverpool having to lose 4 games. They haven't lost all season. So this was huge for the table. It was huge to keep this race alive because I think it's a 2-horse race. I mean, if you look at the table, Spurs are only 2 points off City, but we know what Spurs are like. Whenever it matters, they somehow fail. So no question for me, it's Liverpool and City to fight it out.
Well, like you said, the 2-horse race, and we know I have a couple of days to go, but that clash between Liverpool and Manchester City coming up this week is definitely going to be a juicy one. So early predictions on how you think that's going to go?
Have a guess.
Liverpool.
There you go.
All right. Well, I'm sure we're going to dive deep into that game as we approach. But as Stevie says, the way things are going, it looks like it's all Liverpool full speed ahead.
I don't think they're as sharp going forward as we know they can be. Last season in the Premier League, they blew everybody away with their attacking prowess. Whether it was putting the ball in the back of the net or cutting teams up. They don't seem to be cutting teams up. I mean, I guess a lot of that's got to do with recently not having David Silva and certainly not having Aguero at 100%. Those 2 guys are key for them. But I don't remember them ever this season playing against a side and just having their way with them. You know, just cutting through them easily, going round the outside, little 1-2s in and around the box. It just hasn't been there this year. So I think that's still a problem. And as we said, you add that to the problems defensively, then you're in trouble.
That plays on the opposition's mind, doesn't it? Like, even as a viewer watching this, normally, last season, City go 1-0 up, you turn it off, you go and do something, come back, and they won 4 or 5-0. But as an opposition player, you're thinking, hey, you know, we can get something.
Absolutely, it does. And to Stevie's point, I think the fact that they as bad at the back as they have been plays into how this whole team plays, how high up the park they start. Even as you look at that goal, or you look at the Southampton goal as it develops, the ball's played into Zinchenko, who is in 5 yards of space. Now, previous City teams, that means retreat, drop further back. But Ward-Prowse presses Zinchenko because he knows his team isn't playing with confidence. And he knows in a young player in Zinchenko, maybe he gets an opportunity. And all of a sudden now, City don't have that air of invincibility for the opposition, that you can press high up the park, that they aren't as, that even if they get through that initial pressure, they aren't as deadly going forward as they have been. And you get your opportunities for it. I thought Southampton were certainly deserving of that goal just by the fact that they are willing to press City in areas of the field that nobody else has been for some time.
Man City right now are playing the way Liverpool did this time last year. They were struggling to score goals, and were losing goals at home and losing games. And the whole thing's reversed. Liverpool now has that aura about them that City have lost and City had last year. Incredible. Jose Mourinho restricts players. You see, the one, it was funny, I was watching today and I saw Shaw, who was the left back, running towards the opposition penalty box with 2 and 3 players behind him, in front of him, backing him up, looking for passes. You would never have seen that in a million years. You would have seen Shaw stuck out on the left-hand side, running up a tram line, because that's what he was told to do. Right. And Pogba, in my opinion, was restricted in his movement. He was told that he had to do a certain thing, he had to be in a certain position, and then maybe now and again, if you can, we want to see you try to get in the box. Well, that's wholly different than what he's doing now.
One of the biggest takeaways for me in Solskjaer's first interview, I'm trying to remember his pre or post game, but he said he wanted the players to take risks, to gamble. And that's what you're seeing now. You saw Paul Pogba in his 2 runs, just taking a risk, seeing a space and running to it, not quite sure if he was getting the ball. And I thought that was telling because you felt in the Jose Mourinho, the concern was more, what does my position need to be if it breaks down? So as opposed to taking a risk and getting into positions going forward, it would be, let me just play safe, because if it breaks down, I want to be in the right position to make sure we can defend and we don't concede. So now all of a sudden Manchester United have gone from, let's take risks in getting forward in an attempt to score goals, as opposed to, let's not concede goals.
Welcome into Extra Time. We were just discussing Xhaka being a Rubik's Cube king back in the day.
I did not use that word at all.
Oh, you cheated.
I could do it.
You bought a book, how to do it.
You buy a book and it tells you, you know, what to look for and the patterns.
Yeah, no, because my son got one for Christmas, and it's blooming complicated. Yeah. How do people do it without YouTube? You can't just work it out. You needed a book.
I need a book.
You can't just do one of those things that you just go, oh, look, I've done it. Stevie, I bet you did Rubik's Cube. Xhaka, what's your go-to dance move? Good question.
Ooh. I haven't danced.
Stevie has got an eclectic mix of dances that we've seen over the years.
We've seen that.
You've seen the floss.
I don't really dance.
The trumpet.
Oh, the lawnmower. That's a big go-to.
Yeah, that's it.
The lawnmower's a big go-to. Definitely.
I'm not a dancer.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen you dancing. I don't think I have.
No.
Good. Carnival, we've seen you dancing. Definitely.
When we were talking about that.
Yeah, you had a skirt on as well.
Yeah, and lots of feathers.
I didn't have a skirt on.
Oh, you did.
I did not have a skirt on, and I did not have feathers.
You said you had a skirt on when
No, I did not. No, I did not.
And by the way, Xhaka hasn't forgotten to shave. This is on purpose. What's happening here?
Yes.
Are you depressed?
You do look a bit depressed. Yeah.
No.
Can you show her the grey? The grey is...
There's some greys in there.
Yeah.
There's some greys.
It's a sign that you're not yourself.
I am mid-40s-ish, you know.
He's trying to hide behind the beard, isn't he?
I am mid-40s.
So. You think it's
yeah, he's having that midlife.
Well, he's 50 and 2 months.
I am mid-40s.
50
I am mid-40s.
2 months.
I am mid-40s.
That makes sense. I did the same when I was 50. I started growing beard.
Do you guys... now. This could be from Ian's burner account. Do you guys agree with Ian Dark now? Neil Warnock leading Cardiff to a win in the King Power Stadium is impressive.
That was impressive.
This is because Ian Dark picked his team of the year so far. Neil Warnock was manager, and you two laughed at him.
Yeah.
Mocked him.
Wait, hold on. Not just us two. You as well.
Yeah, I laugh and mock at everyone. That's nothing new. But you two really laid into poor Ian.
Yeah, but I mean, team of the year, Neil Warnock, manager of the year. I mean, he's doing a great job.
Everyone said they'd be bottom. And they're not.
They will be. Bottom 3.
Why do you hate?
Why do you hate Ian Dark?
Who said that?
If Arsenal finish 6th, will Emery face questions? How long is his honeymoon? 1 summer transfer window or more?
Why finish 6th? No,
Sixth?
no, they won't.
No?
He had, it's a process, and he had to kind of post Wenger and get players that he wants and that he wants in, and the players that he doesn't want out. Namely Mesut Ozil. I think Arsenal have already looked much improved. I don't think he'll be under any pressure.
Not so.
Shaka's feelings on the current route of Pompey and West Ham. Disclaimer, I'm an Arsenal supporter, so there's nothing to be happy about this weekend.
Pompey,
I'm not sure what Pompey's doing.
Ian Dark's a massive
massive Pompey fan. I'm not sure what they're doing.
You don't really care about Pompey, do you? Out of all of them, who do you care about more, Reading or Pompey?
At Reading.
Yeah.
No question.
So kind of let's go West Ham, Newcastle, Reading, Pompey?
West Ham, Newcastle and Reading kind of on a par there.
Pompey right at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pompey. What's your email address again?
Your email address?
Steve Nicol.
Well, he's not on Twitter, is he? Look at me. He's trying to be clever again.
Why is he going to give out his email?
He's not on Twitter.
So why is he going to give his email out?
Why would he give it? Don't give it.
Why would he give out his
You know
email?
exactly what I was doing. You know exactly what I was doing.
This is a good question. Everyone makes mistakes. What was the biggest mistake each of you made as a player?
Oh, goodness me.
Biggest mistake. I mean, obviously scoring an own goal.
Right.
I scored an own goal away to Middlesbrough in the old stadium. Probably 90...
What was the old stadium called?
Gerson Park. Probably around 92.
Right.
I'd been up for about 2 days previously, 24 hours. My missus had a gallstone or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like...
A goldstone?
Aye.
Not a goldstone.
No, a gallstone. Something wrong with your ears?
I feel like you said goldstone.
No. Not at all.
Okay.
And I just wasn't at it. I shouldn't have played. I wasn't concentrated or what. And they just not long changed the pass back rule. Right. That you couldn't pass it. The goalie couldn't pick it up. And as I said, I was away with the fairies, wasn't concentrating. Ball's played over me. I've turned, gone in behind, and I've just knocked it. I was going to lob it to David James. Okay. So number one, you can't do that. No. For a start. No. And two, unfortunately, Mr. David James had decided to come running out his goal. So it went sailing over his head and into the back of the net.
I need to have a look at that on YouTube.
Yeah, oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
I've made some bad mistakes that are costly. I'm still getting constantly over. The worst goal.
That's why he needs the beard.
See, there is something wrong with it, definitely.
The worst goal I conceded was away to Charlton. 1-0 down, and then Patrick Berger scored a volley from about 40 yards that was up their goal of the season.
Right.
And then right to the death, I conceded this little trickler of a free kick. We lost 2-1. It was awful. I felt bad for Patrick more.
Did he say anything to you?
No. Too nice a man.
Oh, yeah?
There are a lot of others who would have said something, but Patrick didn't.
Final question. What are your New Year's resolutions? Yours is obviously facial.
Well, have a shave, though. That would be the best start.
No. Stay.
Shaq, I know some good self-help books that you could read.
I'm all right. I don't need any help.
No?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
No, your eyes are a bit bloodshot. You've got a beard.
I feel a little under the weather last.
I mean, you're not even. Normally you sit up straight. You're a little crouched over.
I've been a bit under the weather last couple of days.
I mean, you've got marks on your jeans. I mean, there's a lot of bad signs. He's got like paint on his jeans. You can't see it. I'm worried about him.
Stevie, your New Year's resolution, apart from helping your colleagues
oh, mine's dead
in times of trouble?
I need to calm down.
Please, don't even say it out loud. Don't even say it out loud.
Don't even finish.
Every year.
I need to lose a couple of pounds.
Oh. Again.
Again. For once.
That is it. ESPN FC is back tomorrow.
I did my one last year, though. I did my 2018 one.
Was that run a half an hour?
Yeah. You all doubted me. Don't ever doubt me again. You, Dan, and you, Steve. Don't ever doubt me.
That's a good sign. He was smiling there.
What's he going to be like when he turns 50?
Mid-40s-ish. I am mid-40s-ish. Mid-40s-ish.
22nd of February could be a very interesting show.
You haven't been getting any flushies. You haven't been getting any hot flushies or anything like that.
Oh, you'll get a big cake, Shaq.
Oh no, that'll make it even worse.
Mid-40s-ish.
See all the candles and everything like that.
Steve, are you here tomorrow?
No.
Craig and Shaka.
Yeah. I'm here.
And Ralph Honigstein talk about Jim Pulisic.
You get so serious all of a sudden.
Well, because I just remembered. That's it. All right, Shaq, don't be aggressive. Don't lash out.
He's just very up and down, isn't he?
Oh, dear. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Obviously, Santa didn't come and see you this year, Peter, because you're wearing the same jumper as you did last week, unfortunately. But we'll get onto the football, and it was a busy day, busy Saturday in the Premier League. Yeah. The first decision I want to talk about was the Brighton-Everton game. A goal was given. The flag went up initially by the linesman from the set play. Yeah. Locardia's goal stood in the end. You think that's wrong?
Yeah, I do think it's wrong. The flag went up for the offside. Locardia, who scores the goal. If you remember, the ball's come over from the corner kick. It's hit the Everton player, deflected off the Everton player into the path of the Brighton forward, who swung it and scored.
But look, people get this wrong, don't they? I mean, I was watching lots of pundits on the television still saying that was a great decision,
right?
Because it hit the defender. But that's not the case.
That is not the case, because under law said it's got to be a deliberate play by the defender or by his opponent to play that opponent onside. In this instance, there was no chance of the Everton player getting out of the way of the ball. He didn't even know it's coming across. It's hit him. It's deflected. Got into the path of the Brighton player who scored the goal. For me, that's not a deliberate play on the ball, and I don't think it was the right decision.
OK, we go on to the big game of Saturday, the Liverpool-Arsenal game. Yeah. 2 penalties given, 1 not given. What do you make of the first penalty, Socrates on Salah?
Well, Mo Salah, his pace has done Socrates for sure, and he's got the wrong side of him. What Socrates hasn't done is have the responsibility of the defender to hold his ground. He's tried to nibble at Mo Salah. Mo Salah's taken that nibble from behind and gone over. Was it enough to put him over for a penalty kick? I think it was, and I think it's the right decision.
Big game down at the bottom of the table, Fulham against Huddersfield. Big decision by the referee to give handball against Lerver, the Huddersfield player.
Yeah, well, it's a massive game. You know, we talk about 6-pointers. This was a 6-pointer, and in the last moments of the game, Fulham, as you quite rightly say, was awarded a penalty kick. Lerver had his arm up in the air.
I thought he was actually trying to get his arm out the way by taking it from his side, where the ball was initially, and then it was flicked up onto his arm. I'm not sure he could do too much about it, but you're going to tell me that his arm was in an unnatural position.
His arm's in a natural position. It's got to be deliberate, and to put your arm up there means it's deliberate. He's made himself bigger. He's taken the risk of the ball striking his arm, which it did, and I think Kevin Friend, the referee, was spot on in giving a spot kick.
Now we turn to a little bit to diving. Maddison for Leicester goes down in the penalty area, gets a penalty in that game against Cardiff. Do you think it was a penalty?
I do think, look, I'm agreeing with the referee on the day there. I think that that was more of a foul than Mo Salah's foul the other week in the Liverpool game. However, I've already said again, it doesn't take a lot to make a player go down when he's running at speed. Maddison was running at fairly speed there. He gets just a little tug, but not only that, if you look carefully, there's also a knee-on-knee clash. Again, Maddison's too tight to him. Gives the opportunity to the referee make a decision. The referee, again, 2 or 3 yards away, spot kick.
Okay. Harry Kane got booked for diving in the game against Wolves when he was running down the side of the field and tries to clip it over the defender and get the other side. Would you have booked him for that? Would you have given a foul to start with?
Again, would I have booked him? I probably wouldn't have booked him had I seen what I've seen on the TV. In real time, very difficult to detect the contact that was made.
So if you can't detect the contact, then you can't book him for diving, can you?
Well, correct. You can't book him for diving if you haven't seen the contact, but you've got to make sure that there has been no contact at all. Stuart Atwell, the referee there, in his mind, clearly saw there was no contact and therefore booked Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane was slightly unfortunate to receive a yellow card there, especially when you look at it again in slow motion. You can see there was a clip up to his ankle.
Then we go back to the Leicester-Cardiff game. I thought there was a reckless challenge by Harry Arter on one of the Leicester players when he went over the top of the wall. He didn't injure the Leicester player, but I thought he was very lucky not to be sent off.
Yeah, looking at it, it's probably the worst challenge of the weekend.
Didn't even get a yellow card.
Thankfully, the Leicester City player wasn't injured. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I don't think he was sent off, because there was no contact made at all with the Leicester City player. Looking at the challenge, he's come in from afar, he's dived in with a straight leg, he's gone through, although he hasn't touched the Leicester City player. It's reckless in my mind.
And I thought there was a bit of intent there as well.
Well, you can't read intent, Stuart. You know that. You can't read intent. I don't know what's in the player's mind. All you can say is you can go with his actions. His actions was one of recklessness in terms of diving in the way he did. He was lucky not to catch the Leicester City player. Otherwise, that would probably elevate it to endangering. I was disappointed the referee didn't issue a yellow card for a reckless challenge.
So it was a fairly decent Saturday for most of the decisions. And it's been a fairly decent 2018 alongside you, and let's look forward to 2019.
Thank you.